If you've had problems with your masking fluid either being too thick or gluggy, it's been hard to see, apply or remove, well, you're in the right place.
We're taking on the challenge today of making it easier to work with traditional masking fluid.
By the end of this video, you'll be able to tackle masking fluid like a pro. So what is it? It's a liquid latex that can be applied to paper with a brush or other tool to create a barrier to protect whatever's underneath. Then you can paint over it. It dries into a rubbery substance and can then be removed by rubbing or peeling off the paper. It's extremely versatile and can make many tough jobs really easy, like preserving white spaces, fine little details like stamens or animal fur, intricate details that would be way too hard to paint around, and all the while giving you the freedom to keep your paint fluid and loose. It's also ideal for creating multi-layered effects like layers of autumn leaves or pebbles, saving you the pain of getting around all those little negative spaces between the rocks. There are lots of brands out there, all similar, and you will find the one you like the best. My latest is this one from National Art Supplies here in Australia, and I really like it. So now let's look again at those problems and some solutions. It might be thick and gluggy. This is why I always test the masking fluid first. So I pour a little masking fluid into a small container, then after washing my brush in soapy water, I'll test it to see how gluggy it might be.
It's not too bad, but it's probably because my brush was a little bit wet. As a general rule, I like to add a little bit of water to it. So I'm just picking up a little bit of my soapy water, it wouldn't matter, and adding a few drops to the masking fluid and giving it a good little stir with a toothpick. So even now, you can see that it applies better. And if I use my brush, it's a much smoother application. But then I have the problem of not being able to see it. So I like to use a little bit of a non-staining paint, in this case a little bit of cobalt blue, and add it to the masking fluid. Because it's non-staining, it's not going to harm it in any way, and then I can stir it with a toothpick. Now mind you, all brands are different and all brands need to be tested by you. Find out how it's going to work for you. And now that's much better.
As a word of caution, it's important to test it on the paper you're going to use for your special piece, because here I tested it on the reverse side of Montmartre's rough cotton paper, and the result was different from using it on the front side. This is because the paper has been sized differently. The reverse side is still beautiful to paint on, but tends to peel a little when using masking fluid, and I'm really glad I found out.
But now I'm going to share with you some of the fantastic tools I use that will really change everything. I'm using some Montmartre cotton rough paper on the correct side. This is the rough side. And one of my first favorite tools is an interdental flosser. There we go. Look at that. It's like a little tiny mascara brush that goes between your teeth. This is fantastic. So I can wet it in my soapy water and pick up a bit.
It makes beautiful random lines that are often not the same thickness, so ideal for grasses and foliage and such things. I find that a toothpick just doesn't grab onto enough fluid or go the distance.
And going back to this one, it's fantastic. If I'm doing some little flowers, we have one in particular here in Australia, which is like a little tea tree. So I'm using a cotton tip. It has 5 little petals and then the center bit. And here's the thing, the center bit touches the 5 little petals, of course, but it's so beautiful and easy to make the shapes where you can actually see the space between the petals and the center bit. So let's do another one, only because it's just so much fun. So that's number 2. I love using a nib because this is now a really nice consistency. This works exceptionally well. And there's different types of nibs. Of course, you can get wider ones and thinner ones. And that lasts a long time because of the reservoir that it holds in the back. These lines are fantastic. Okay, I'll wash that out. And then, if we're doing some special flowers, how about this neat little trick? This is a piece of rope. And if I spread out the fibers in there and dip it into my masking fluid, I can test it on some other paper first, just to get the flow right. But look, we can make lovely little patterns like that. But every single time it'll be different. And when this dries, all you do is just cut it off and you've got it for the next one. So I'm not even going to wash that. I'm just going to let it dry. This is an actual masking fluid applicator by Rosemary & Co. It has 2 soft rubber tips and they're excellent. So let's see what we can do with these. We might be able to give these stems a few little leaves. You can pick up anything you like and have a go at it. Everything will give you a different mark, and you never know, it might be just what you've been looking for. I'm going to use the other tip now. Oh, and it makes little tiny circles. Quite nice ones. If I press harder, they're a bit bigger. So that's really good. It might be great for some stamens in flowers. And then here I have a makeup brush. Going to dip it in water and apply some masking fluid. And it's just giving me some nice little petal type shapes. And what else have we got? Let's say we were to apply a little bit of masking fluid as a little dot, little blob of it, and then you could blow it. And that's a nice little effect. Generally, I like tools with a more organic structure. So this is a bamboo fork. And with it, I can make nice little strokes like that, which are ideal when painting flowers for something, ferny like that. But I prefer that to using a plastic item. This is another tooth flosser, because not enough masking fluid actually sticks to it in the first place to make the marks that I'd like. There is still some progress, but not really what I'd like. And then a bit of paper. If you use paper like this, just some old watercolor paper, it's nice and firm. And then what I need to do is I need to have it in on a bigger surface just so that I can pick it up the way I want to. And then I can dip it in and I can create completely straight lines that I can use
for, let's say, glistening water, just a few strokes here and there, or by the shoreline, or the mast of a boat, or the wires on a fence, or little pickets.
And often when you use the torn tip of some paper, because it's more of an organic tool, it'll pick up enough paper to make beautiful little lines. And then again, you can use it a bit like a stamp. a special little flower here we have. But you can get very creative with your tools and just make them how you want to. Here's another little tooth device or dental device. It is it's like a little screwdriver or something, but it can hold a lot of masking fluid and make beautiful strokes as well. You can just use anything you like. Just to show you how you can use anything, this is a little bit of dried up masking fluid. See that? That I just peeled off out of a little jar lid that I had put it in. But what if I was to dip that into masking fluid and create some texture? So masking fluid isn't just for preserving whites. Well, it is, but it can create beautiful texture. And don't forget, you can also use it on coloured paper. Let's just do a little flower here. So we'll wait for these to dry and then add a little bit of paint on top, wait for it to dry and remove it. Our masking fluid is all dry, so now we can have a little play with some paint. Maybe just a little bit of green in there. A little bit of pink up on top. We can add some thicker paint in between. Thicker paint in there. A little flower. Okay, just a little bit of paint on top of that and maybe some paint over here. And then we can talk about removing paint. Not paint, masking fluid. Let's try something different here. I'm going to add a little bit of water on top and then come in with a little bit of brighter paint. And just some green. And now we'll just wait for these to dry. I couldn't believe it. The camera turned off just while I was showing you how to remove it all.
So here is another example, waiting for the masking fluid to be removed. I'm using a pickup rubber. It's a firm piece of rubber that clings to the dry masking fluid, making it easier to remove. Sure, you can do it with your fingers, and I often do, but this is really easy. And then once you grab onto it, you can peel the mask off as well.
When this rubber gets a little bit dirty from picking up masking fluid, you can simply cut off the dirty bits and you'll have a clean rubber.
We've covered a lot of ground here today, but the main takeaway is to allow yourself to experiment with anything and everything to make the marks you'd like, and to only apply the masking fluid to a dry surface, and always dry the masking fluid thoroughly before removing. If you'd like to learn more about permanent masking fluid, see the link up here, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.